For my In the News assignment topic, I decided to focus on the spike of child labor throughout the pandemic. Child labor is a very serious and important issue that I feel isn't being talked about as much as it should be. The first question I'm going to be answering about this topic is, who is this issue about? This issue is about children in poverty, whose ages range from 5 to 15. Their families are also a major aspect within this issue as they play into the reason their children are working. The next question is, what is this issue about? As a result of the pandemic, many children around the world have had to pause or end their education and begin to work in order to financially support their families, as many parents have lost their job and have no income. The UN estimates that 24 million children around the globe have dropped out from school for good. Illegal child labor has been a problem for a very long time, but there has been a major spike in countries such as India, which is the country my article focuses on. The goal of these children is to make money in order to help support their family or to survive overall. Child labor prospects become even more serious as time goes on because families become desperate and dependent on the income the children make. This dependence causes the children to work for longer periods of time and physically suffer from it. The period of time could be until their parents get another job or until the parents can be the ones collecting income. Some jobs that children do are related to construction, sex work, manufacturing, mining, etc. These children also work in very difficult and dangerous working conditions, such as in dirty factories. The workplaces may have a lack of protective gear. The children work with dangerous machinery, as well as excruciatingly long hours. Child labor in several countries are also related to spikes in forced marriages, human trafficking, teen pregnancy, and more. Where does this issue take place? The article I chose to analyze talks about a district in India called Tumakuru, where child labor has increased exponentially. But child labor is mainly found throughout Asia and Africa. Poverty and child labor has been a major issue in Asia. In the last few years, their poverty statistics have improved, but this statistic has been reversed and worsened throughout the pandemic. When has this issue been taking place? As I said before, child labor has been around for hundreds of years, but has been heightened within the last year because of COVID-19. Also, as a result of the pandemic, I think that many people have opened their eyes to humanitarian issues, and this is a major one. Child labor was getting a lot of awareness this year because of a massive increase in online shopping. For a long time, everyone was unable to shop at stores in person, so many affordable online stores have come into mainstream media, which use child labor in order to create the items at a cheaper price. As sales within these stores were increasing, many people across social media have covered this issue and have shared posts in order to raise well-deserved awareness. Why is this topic a social justice issue? Child labor is a very serious issue because of the impacts on the children as well as the blatant human rights violation. Child labor violates the children's right to go to school, the right to be protected from economic exploitation, and more. Some children are forced to work to survive on their own or to help their parents. As a result of in-person school cancellations all over the world, children are either not in school or have to do it online. Children in poor communities do not have the capabilities to attend online school as they do not have laptops or access to the internet, so their education is ruined. Child labor also reinforces poverty cycles. Child labor violates many Catholic social teachings. The first violation is within the life and dignity of a human person. These children are not given any dignity or respect that they deserve, as every single human being is given dignity and it is to be upheld by others. They are also being treated horribly and forced to work in terrible conditions for extremely long hours. The next violation is an option for the poor and vulnerable. Countries like India are not doing anything for their poor community. People in poverty are stuck where they are and unable to get out. In this teaching, communities should focus on equity to help poor people in order to create an equal and equitable society. With this pandemic, many governments are focusing on getting back on track, getting vaccines, etc. Communities in poverty in these countries are not being looked at or improved. Dignity of work/rights of workers is an obvious violation. The children have no rights in the workplace as they are forced to work in order to live. A major principle of this teaching is that child labor is wrong because it can lead to malnutrition, exposure to chemicals, psychological trauma, etc. On June 10, 2020, the Pope said these next few quotes about the problem of child labor. The first being, "I appeal to the institutions to make every effort to protect minors, filling the economic and social gaps that underlie the distorted dynamic in which they are unfortunately involved." Then, boys and girls who were forced to work were deprived of their childhoods, as well as, in many cases, these are forms of slavery and imprisonment, resulting in physical and psychological suffering. And lastly, children are the future of the human family, and everyone should foster their growth, health, and serenity. I have included 3 discussion questions. You can answer 1 or more. What can Canada do to help the children who are part of child labor in other countries? How can we make sure that the communities in poverty and the children forced into child labor are being supported or helped after the pandemic? How can we stop child labor across the globe? I hope this presentation has made you more aware of the important social justice issue of child labor. Thanks for listening.